Hi guys. Happy Easter if you celebrate it. Otherwise, just happy Sunday. It is 4:50 p.m. here on I think the 68th day that I'm doing this. And I was hesitant to make a video, and then I thought, no, wait, the whole point of this is to be, authentic. And so last night it stormed again. And I did not get good sleep for like the third or fourth night in a row, which is it's not a good thing for me. And I knew it was supposed to storm today, but I also knew it was Easter Sunday. And so the bottom line is I'm really proud of myself because I kind of shored myself up to the extent I could. And the facts are that I did drive us to church. A big draw for it was that there was going to be like breakfast provided. So that made a difference, because I knew I was going to get some protein. I knew my daughter was going to get food. It takes one thing off my shoulders, which does make a massive difference. So, we managed to get there in between the storms. I felt like I was carrying two heavy buckets of like concrete, and one of the ways I kind of convinced myself to go was, we can drop these off, meaning I can, she can get, she can go to the childcare, and I can just breathe for a bit, and release, some stuff. But after we ate, went to check her into childcare, and it turns out there's no childcare for the older kids today. That's fine if I knew that, but when I was only a little longer, holding these two super heavy buckets, and then to find out, never mind, okay, and so she was with me the whole time, and then it's just this torture device kind of. I mean, it's not, but it feels like that because I'm trying to just stay calm, and what I mean is not cry, not get in the emotion, but at the same time they're doing everything they can to get people to do that, with the music, and it's really moving. So I'm like, holding those buckets of concrete. I did let some tears out, but I mean, I wanted to just sob. At one point, I did actually go to the bathroom calmly during the service because I realized it's going to come out at some point, and it's almost like this isn't fair, meaning to carry this load all the time type of feeling. But the positives is, that I drove there. I did actually go to the bathroom, and I did a tapping thing, and it did help, and then afterwards, though, I had released so much and I had held so much in. I was just kind of struggling, to be honest, but trying not to show it. And so I felt like I was going to faint. And I was like, So I'm proud of myself, though, because I went really slow on the stairs. I had to. And then my daughter wanted more food, which was across the building. And I was like, I need to drink some water first. I need to sit. I don't know if it's a blood sugar thing. I mean, the bottom line is, I'm burnt out anyway. I pushed it anyway because I thought I was going to have a little bit. And then to not only not have that, but have the opposite, it was it's kind of like if you were running a marathon and all of a sudden they added 10 more miles. You're like, but you didn't know, but you also, for whatever reason, couldn't even show that that was stressful for you, but it is. That being said, I drank 4, glasses of water. I definitely was thinking, what is going on? But I just said, well, I know I'm not driving right now, so no matter what, even if she really pushes it, I'm going to be like, I am not safe to drive right now, so I'm not going to. We don't need to, you know. Like I always say, it's one thing if I need to like lift the car up to save the kid, but we're not meant to live holding the car up. It just doesn't work. Your arms do give out, you know. So anyway, we ended up getting more food. I had drank also, by the way, to give an example of how exhausted I was. I had drank like 3 cups of coffee. It wasn't that it made me jittery. I don't think it was that. I think that's what even kept me just going at all, to be perfectly honest. And they were small cups, by the way. They weren't like big cups, but still. I was just saying, I did everything I could think of with my own resources. And one of the best parts, actually, was there was a fly on the table. And, you know, she was going to, like, shoo it away. And I'm like, he's just sitting there. Like, he wasn't going after. He was like a lazy fly. Like, he was just sitting there. So we made up, like, a whole story about the fly and named him. And she was just cracking up because I'm just like, he kind of turned his head. I'm like, no. And then he turned his head back. And, you know, that was the best part for me personally and her. And so after that, because I really wanted to get our picture taken if possible. And I'm just so proud of myself because the facts are we did do it, you know. And I was eventually able to drive home. But yeah, that was like 5 hours when I was already completely depleted. It was a lot. And then when we got home, I knew I was like just going down, whether I liked it or not. So I was like, I need to lay down, and I don't even think I laid down. I think I did a bath first because I just didn't even know if any emotion was going to come out. Like I was just, yeah. But the facts are, I did. Did I do a meditation in the bath? I think I did. I can't even remember right now, but I did do a bath, and then I did a shower, and then I did lay down. Now I've done like 4 or 5 meditations, and I started feeling the energy, like the life force, come back into my body, and I realized, you know, it's massive, you know, kind of victory in all of this is that I need to lay down, you know, when I can, but I need to lay down. And so if it's going to take listening to meditations to lay down, but I accomplished that goal that I need to do, then it is a victory. I also had to remind myself that I'm processing a lot of stuff, and so the more I can fill my head with the new stuff, like the not just positive but healthy, and you know, can't think of the word, truth, you know, it's only gonna make things better. So I am still quite tired, of course, because I really have been, you know, pushing it, but I'm seeing a way out now. Like I'm seeing, you know, from this is coming a solution, and that's always exciting for me. The facts are I could have just not gone today, you know. I could have left when I didn't feel good. I had all these options, but I don't regret what I did. At the same time, that's not a sustainable thing, so I need to find solutions. And like I said, one solution is to associate, like reframe using meditations as, listen, my body needs rest. So if this is a natural thing that allows my body to have that rest, why not, you know? And I also put the internal do not disturb sign in my head, and I just kept telling myself, I'm charging, I'm updating, and I just kept picturing like a typewriter, and it was like, all is well, all is well. Even if I didn't feel it or believe it, that's what I started obsessing on, you know, since the idea of no thoughts wasn't going to happen. I just kept pinpointing that as I'm listening to this, transformative things. So I'm really, really proud of myself, is the bottom line. And it was a grueling day, but I know I did my absolute best and I did an amazing job. The only thing, of course, I would change is feeling better. But it was, it was just a massive victory. And I see how if I build this rest into my days, it won't get this severe, because the facts are, a lot of people in my position would just stayed home. They would just wouldn't even done it. And that might have been the right decision for them, but I know I would have regretted it if I didn't at least try, because I didn't know I didn't know how much of it was real and how much of it was just fear of the unknown and, just, but yeah, I'm really proud because the facts are I did end up using some tools and they did help. And it's just ultimately, yes, once again, but ultimately it's good awareness. So that being said, I'm going to go give her Easter basket, and I need to figure out something for dinner. But when I was doing the meditations, I was like, think about that after. Think about that after. Right now, you're supposed to be relaxing. So, yeah, I'm still obviously very tired, but I'm going to drink a bunch of water. And I know ultimately this energy will come back. It was a 3-day weekend. And then last week was like, she was off like a day. And so when you're already just depleted, you don't need extra days, But that being said, I did all the right things and I'm proud of everything I did. It's just, it took a toll on me. And from this, I've discovered new ways to help myself at a fundamental level. So ultimately, it's all good. So, okay. Love you guys.